2024 was a fantastic year for not just amateur radios, but gear associated with radios and any gear you might take with you when you're going out into the field. Today's video is me talking about my favorite things outside of the radio space, physically the radios, into the gear that we use when we go out in the field or we're just doing fun radio stuff. The first on my list is the Alpha Antenna's sound tuner for loop antennas. This is a really big year, I think, for accessibility options for those differently abled in amateur radio. And Steve over at Alpha Antennas has done considerable amounts of work in bringing some more difficult things to the amateur radio market that might operate radios in a different way than most of us are accustomed to. This sound tuner will allow you to, when placed next to a loop, adjust the loop to get the resonance from the sound you're hearing out of it. It peaks to a high volume, and then as you go past it, it starts to lower down. What's so great about this is not only is this helpful for those that might be sight impaired, but it's really just useful for anyone that wants to tune up a loop. It works really, really well, and it gives you a little bit extra type of feeling on what's going on without having to just trust your antenna analyzer, which you still should probably do, but this works just as well in a pinch, and most of the time I find that it's more than accurate enough for being within the space I need to be in anyway to transmit effectively. Next on my list, the wonderful, wonderful dongles from Tuftlen. And here's the little guy. This takes USB-C input and outputs 12 volts. So this is a buck converter, basically. But we kind of all collectively had an aha moment in 2024 where we learned about power delivery in the form of our little, USB-C battery banks that we carry. A lot of these power delivery devices can go upwards and beyond 12 volts and give us enough current that we can run our amateur radio QRP stations with. So instead of having to carry a second battery for, say, a mountain topper radio or a 705 or a KX2, we can take this one little dongle, put it in our kit with our battery lead, and connect directly to our USB-C battery bank. Now, the good news here is it goes both ways. If you have a 12-volt battery and you want to charge your phone with it, well, Tuftlen has adapters for that as well. Links for all the things in this video will be in the video description, so check that out. There's one more power option I forgot to mention. Yes, this is editor Josh. So this is also a 12-volt PD device. You take in USB-C and it comes out 12 volt as depicted there in a coaxial plug. But this one has a universal connector kit that goes along with it. So if you're doing something like a Jankopotamus, you simply take this end and button it up to the connector, and there you go. So this goes into my power little box that I have, which is this guy right here with some more Tuftlen devices. But this is nice because you can adapt to just about any coaxial plug that you have for DC. This is off of Amazon, and it's also really cheap. Regarding the area of interfacing your radio, DigiRig had another huge year with some of the devices they came out with. The first being the DigiRig Lite, which is a fantastic device for connecting to ham radio handhelds and QRP radios, basically any radio. It gives you a limited functionality of control, which you can configure with your amateur radio applications. This little inexpensive dongle can slide into any bag or any kit, and I generally keep one with me. The second, this solved a big problem, and I had to yank this out of my truck to do this video. They made a DigiRig Mobile, so like you're used to, notice it's a little bit different sized, and there's very specific dongle end connections here. This is for the FT891, and if you ever interfaced that radio before, you know that it's a bit kludgy in getting it set up. Well, DigiRig takes all of that out of it, and you have two connections which match the FT891, and then you have your USB-C dongle on the other end that goes to your computer. If you have an FT891 and you want to do FT8 things, or you already have an FT8 solution, imagine this being the whole kit and caboodle all put together. Fantastic option from DigiRig. More radio interfacing. This is more specific for those of you with iPhones. I talked about the BBLink earlier this year, which is this little blue dongle, and this lets you do low energy Bluetooth on your iPhone to connect to radios like the Kenwood TH-D75 to do things like radio mail, which turns out the creator of Radio Mail made this as well. This handy little dongle allows me, and it doesn't have to be plugged into the phone, it could be just plugged into a USB-C power device to give it power, allows you to interface your radio. Again, handy thing for doing WinLink on the go. A non-amateur radio gear item that I think you won't be able to live without, particularly if you go outdoors. A digital thermometer. Hey, who knew, right? Just a simple little digital thermometer. This is made by ThermoWorks, the same people who make those little probe thermometers for doing like barbecue meat or, in the kitchen. Now, you're like, digital thermometer, what's wrong with just a regular little outdoor thermometer that like we put on our backpacks? Well, the battery for this lasts years, but that's not why. This has the capability of, within a 24-hour period, remembering the highs and the lows of what it experiences. So if you throw this on the side of your backpack and you go backpacking, it will tell you what the lows got down to that night. And I love that. You pull up in the morning, it's really cold, and you're like, man, that felt like a chilly night. Was that below 30 degrees? Did we dip into the 20s? Well, this will tell you, and it'll tell you really nicely and simply, and it's relatively inexpensive. I got this off of a website called Garage Grown Gear, and there are super tempting items on that website, so be careful if you go to it. It could be more expensive than one digital thermometer. Notice a lot of these items are very small, largely because I try and pack as light as possible. I've got a bad knee and now a bad back, apparently. I screwed up my back last weekend. But I try and pack light. And that's what the next item is. The Fara-J J-pole antenna, a fabric J-pole antenna that you can take with you everywhere. It has a BNC connection on the end here. It has little retaining loops on the top and the bottom if you'd like to give it a little weight on the bottom to keep it standing vertically. I tested this not too long ago in the park. It performed well for being a piece of fabric, and I pack this now with me everywhere because, again, it weighs nothing and it disappears in a pack. So check this one out as well. I don't think you'll be disappointed with the capability and options you have in such a small package. And if it wasn't more clear, that is a J-pole antenna on fabric. You can get it in 2 meters and 70 centimeters. The 2 meter option is the one I carry around most often, but I also have the 70 centimeters, and it performed well in my antenna testing. A video I dropped recently was my MuziWerks Meshtastic devices, and these are going to be my recommended Meshtastic devices for pretty much until something dethrones it, but I don't know, for the size of it, it's going to be pretty hard to do that. For people that like to get started in Meshtastic easily and not spend a ton of money. These are great because you can hang them up with the antenna pointed upwards, and you can leave them like that until the battery goes dead, or you end up coming back and collecting it, or plug in a USB-C to keep it going. I keep 2 of these with me, the regular nubbin type, the vape type as we call it, and the one with the antenna feed on the side. And this usually will sit in a hotel room on whatever floor I'm on, and then this is the one I'm carrying with me, and I let this repeater out my Meshtastic packets while I go about my day with the little guy. These are really cool as well. Inexpensive, about $80 and about $90 for each one of these if you want the external antenna. It's about $10 more. This one is very unique. Also a small little boy. This is the SOTACat. We talked about this on a live stream. And don't worry, a video is coming that I'm going to talk about this in more greater detail, and likely with the creator, because frankly there's a lot going on with this device that I have not been able to justifiably put out a video for, and it deserves a much deeper dive. So there's this system. It's an application you get for your phone called SOTAMate. SOTAMate allows you to spot yourself when you're doing parks on the air or summits on the air over FT8. It's literally as simple as like keying your microphone on upper sideband and then playing FT8 noises from your phone speaker into the microphone, and then having that get picked up by the SOTAMate system that's on the back end. Now, this device, you're like, well, okay, what do you need? You got the phone app, you got what else do you need? So this device allows you similar capability, but creates a web server that you can remote into from your phone, and also then control your radio, being able to jump around to different SOTA stations that are activating at the time. This device works on the KX2 and KX3, so it's a bit unique, but here's one of the super cool things that this does. SOTAMate will not only spot you for when you're doing parks on the air, summits on the air, which is an extremely novel approach to doing it because FT8 gets out like nobody's business, particularly if you have a decent radio. It will also send pre-canned text messages to those that you want to let know if you're okay or what you're doing as you're hiking out to a summit, for example. So you could have a pre-canned message that says, on my way to the summit, or I arrived at the summit, and it could say, haven't head back yet, need another 30 minutes. Or I'm packing up now. I should be X amount of hours away from home. It kind of is like the FT8 version of a Garmin InReach, but entirely done via amateur radio and entirely free, aside from maybe the purchase of the SOTACat if you want to do that. But you don't need to do that. You can still use the SOTAMate application to do so. There is some setup to this, and like I said, I've got to have the creator on my channel on a live stream so that we can go into it in greater detail, because there is a lot to cover, and the man is truly an FT8 wizard in what he had to unlock the secret powers of FT8 to let him do what he ended up doing with the system. And it's really, really fun, really, really cool. And so yeah, this makes the list this year. The SOTACat and the SOTAMate application to go along with it. 2 utility items before we get to one last tech nerd piece. These are the Bihn random assorted pouches, or the random pouches. They have a little clip on the side, random fabric. I think these are like scraps, and it's just a simple little pouch, right? So Bihn, I learned about this from Thomas Witherspoon, K4SWL, the brand, and I've since then bought like 15 items from Bihn. They're really, really novel design of bags, but these little pouches are fantastic because they're brightly colored, so you can take them into the field and not worry about losing them because they stand out really, really nicely. And I throw all my little stuff that I just showed you into 1 or 2 of these bags, and these kind of go with me everywhere. This bag I call the Problem Solver bag, which has a spare CW key, a Tuftlen DC to USB power control buck converter, a couple of extra wires, the SOTACat, my BBLink, a number of items goes into this, and this goes into whatever bag I'm taking into the field. And this has saved my butt once or twice, and it works out really well. Now, this is totally outside of anything we've talked about, and I think it's the only affiliate code item. This is available on Amazon. This is a glove clip, and it's a belt loop that has Velcro and a snap and a really strong toothy clippy boy. And so what you do with this, and what I do, is I have this on the side of my Hill People bag, and I clip my mechanics gloves or my Milwaukee gloves to it, and they hang off the side of it when I'm working around the house, or I can put it on a belt loop and carry them around that way. That way I don't have to put them in a pocket, because inevitably my gloves will fall out of my pocket. So it's always there. You never lose your gloves, and these are like really, really cheap. So it's there mainly because I use this a lot, and this is my second one actually, so I can have one forever on my Hill People gear, and another one that's a part of my tool bag that stays with my truck or here in the home when I'm doing weekend warrior type things. So highly recommended. Now this is just good fun. This is just good nerd fun. This is the M5 Stack card computer. It is tiny as all get out, and this has a number of applications that you can run on it for doing little Wi-Fi things, Bluetooth things. Hacking would be a way to say this, but it also works as a USB keyboard, as an input device, an I/O device for doing SSH into other devices that you can interface with it. This is a really, 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 really fun piece of kit. And for those of you that may not have wanted to fall directly into like Flipper Zero world with that little kind of hacker strip kitty device, this might be something really, really fun, because it goes beyond that hackerish side of things and focuses on some really unique use cases that are pretty special for what this can do. Best thing is, I think this is like $25. It might even be cheaper than that. Oh, I take it back. It's $30. And you probably want to pair this with a micro SD card that's maybe 128 gigs or higher, because what you do with this is you load a firmware on it that allows you to download other applications to it, and then you tell the card computer to just reboot into that firmware. And that is super awesome, because then you don't have to just flash this once at your home computer, go play with it, come back and flash something else on it. You keep a whole library of different firmwares on the SD card and then flip to whichever ones you want to use. Even better, this will use the built-in Wi-Fi to download those firmwares to the SD card, and you can take this with you wherever you are. It's so small, it's also just, there's no reason not to keep it with you wherever. And it has magnets on it, so you can just put it on anything and it'll stay there. Yeah, This is probably a top item, but from many, many years ago when I was still doing metal detecting. This is a Lachey digger, specifically for lawns. That's totally unrelated to this video. Well, that'll do it for... Ooh, wait. No. Yes, we have one more. The Boondock Echo is one of my favorite things from this year. Now completely available. These shipped to everybody who ordered them. This thing is just so freaking cool. I don't know how best to explain it, except that there is a use case that you would be benefited by owning one of these if you had it. You just have to figure out what it is. A lot of you don't know what this does. I will drop a link in the video description to a video that I made on the Boondock Echo. In short, this listens on whatever radio frequency you pipe into it. And I guess it doesn't even have to really be a radio frequency now that I think about it. It could just be an audio feed. But it will record what it hears to the cloud, and then you can access it from wherever you are, so long as you have access to your Boondock Echo account. It will record the audio, and then using AI create transcripts for the different things it hears. Now, if that's all it did, that'd be like, okay, well, that's novel, but, you know, whatever. No, it goes more than that. This is smart enough that you can pre-cache audio clips using the Boondock Echo website, and then when it hears a special keyword or phrase, play that audio or perform that action. There are a myriad of different types of workflows that you can add to this that key off of what it hears on the air. So much so that I don't know that I have enough thoughts in my brain to figure out all of the different options you could use this to interface with different things. Say, a scanner, like my SDS200, which I normally have this plugged into, so that I can listen to things like police codes and have it email me and my wife when listening to the dispatch of our local sheriff's department. What a novel idea. Now, here in my hometown of Cerritos, we have very low amounts of crime, but regardless, we have a pretty active neighborhood watch group in our neighborhood, but across the entire city, and they all have Facebook groups, and one in particular that my wife runs, that Facebook group, we like to post updates there. Now, hypothetically, I haven't big-brained the solution to this enough, but I think that I could, with enough time, and I have scant amounts of that, be able to take police codes that this hears and have it post under my account to Facebook or some device or something, and have it go to that Facebook group to notify people and give some of the information. That is mind-blowing, and the type of automation that we want to see from things like AI and home automations and that kind of stuff. And the Boondock Echo is right there with amateur radio. This could also be used... Okay, check this out. What if hypothetically you were like on a server, you were on a repeater that they used rattlegram often. Rattlegram is like a text-based thing where you can, send text over the radio. Simply enough, right? That's as simple as it works. Well, what if you had a Boondock Echo connected to and listening to a radio that's connected to a repeater, and it got some kind of a tone or said, blog of the day, and then this played your rattlegram message over the Boondock into the repeater for everyone to hear. Pretty cool, as well as potentially storing messages and a myriad of other things. The Boondock Echo is super, super fun. So links are in the description for not only this, but everything I talked about in this entire video. My favorite things of 2024. It was a dang good year for devices and gear that make living life a little bit sweeter and definitely amateur radio a little bit easier. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, I am Josh KI6NAZ73 from me, Josh KI6NAZ. That's how it's supposed to go. Take it easy, everybody.